Hello, good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Welcome. My name is Darren Barton, and I'm here to walk you through. Just bear me a moment. I'm just checking to see if we're broadcasting okay. So we seem to be broadcasting okay at my end. So if I know we've got quite a few people waiting, so I know I've started a little bit early, but what I want to do is just make sure we get all this sort of housekeeping stuff out of the way good and early, because I've got quite a bit to go through with you today. And also, unfortunately, I've double booked myself. So I really do need to go. I was going to say early, but I certainly definitely need to go on time today. I just want to make sure that we're all up and running. So if you can hear me and if you can see me, then if you could just put a little note in the chat there, and then obviously hopefully I'll realise that I'm not sat here talking to myself. Obviously I've got a few guys waiting. So hi Pete. If you could just let me know if you can see and hear me, then that would be great. Hi Dave, you all right? I was making a coffee. So I've got my Vimto. And I've got my Christmas Satsumas. So I'm all good to go. Hi Robin. Oh gosh, you're all coming in thick and fast now. Hi Kirsten. Hi Mike. How's sunny Spain? Hi Graham. You all right? Okay. Now what we're going to go through today, I've got my usual list here. Hi David. You okay? Right. I've got my list here, and so what we're going to be going through today is basically how you can get hold of the bot. Now we've gone live. I'm then going to do a little bit of follow-up. We did some strategies on Wednesday, and so I just want to go through those and give you a bit of an update on those. We're then going to go through how to actually set up a bot. Now, I know a lot of the founders have obviously had a lot of practice time, if you like, playing with the bots and getting used to it. And we've learned quite a few lessons through that process. So thanks very much, founders. That's really helped us. And obviously we've got a lot of people now who are looking to get hold of the bot. Now we've gone live. And again, not that we're going to go back to the basics, but I just want to make sure that everybody understands how the bots have changed, really, because we did a series of videos a few weeks ago, and obviously we put quite a few features in there. A lot of feedback from the founders and a lot of enhancements that the programmers were working on, and obviously is starting to come to fruition now. So I just want to show you how you can create bots really quickly. At the end of the day, we want to do things fast, or I want to do things fast. So I've come up with a few things that I want to sort of share with you. So we'll do that. And then I've had quite a few people asking me how to sort of analyze the information. And I've got some live information, live data that I want to share with you, which again, hopefully will give you a little bit of an insight on how you can develop your own strategies, if you like, even though we've got a bot that will do things for you, but it will help you, add your own little strategies and your own little quirks to the bot. And hopefully we'll be able to show you how you can make even more money. So the bots have been doing pretty well, and like I say, we'll cover those in a moment. So hopefully everybody can see me. Great. Now then, before we get started, if you are wanting to get hold of the bots, if you're interested in Zukul in any way, if someone's shown you this video or you've stumbled across this video just through doing one of those horrible YouTube drill downs where you click on one video, then you see something else, and you click and you click and you click, and you've stumbled onto this video. If you're interested in Zukul, you want to find out more, then what I suggest you do is you have a look in the comments below the video, and there will be a lot of people who will have left comments, and obviously they will have left a contact link, and that might be a referral link for Zukul or something like that. If you get in touch with those people, then obviously they will be the best people, most proactive people who to get sort of any questions that you might have answered. You can anybody can join Zukul, but you can only join Zukul through invitation. So you need to find somebody who's already a member with Zukul and obviously ask them for an invitation link, and obviously they'll be more than happy to share that with you. Guys, if you're watching, if you want to just add some comments down the bottom there, a little bit of information about yourself, and obviously put your little contact link on there, then that's great. And what I'll do over the next couple of days is obviously I'll approve those. If you do have any questions of what we're going through today, and I will be going through this at some pace, so I fully anticipate that either A, you're going to have to watch this all over again, or B, if you do get a chance, pop the question in capitals in the little chat at the side here, and if we get a chance towards the end, then obviously I'll go through those questions and I'll hopefully help you answer them, or at least give you some clarity. If you've got technical questions about the bot and which button to press, I can show you that. But if you're pressing the button and something's still not happening, then that might be a technical glitch. And if that's the case, then obviously you need to get in touch with support. But if you put the question in there, I should be able to help you with that. All right. Okay. Are we all set? We're all ready to go. I'll just have a quick drink and then we'll get started. I'll have to put my glasses on because I'm going to do that tricky thing where I do a screen share. So if I go quiet, it's just so I'm concentrating. Okay, right. So, congratulations, Zukul. Whoops, I think I've gone a bit too far there. Where are we? Here we go. So, the Zukul binary option robot is now live. We've been doing, well, it must be 6-7 months in development now. Binary option trading, both Jeremy and I have been using binary options. We've been using various strategies between us, and obviously then there was a process of getting the programmers to understand our strategies and then turn those strategies into tricky magic stuff that the robot now carries out on our behalf, and it does it very successfully. Now that robot is now live, and any Zukul member will be able to apply for access to it. And yes, I did say apply, and there is a reason for that, and we will cover that in the next minute or so. So who does have access? Well, if you are a founder member or you are a leader, then you automatically get a default membership for the binary option robot. Now, the time to actually become a founder has now passed. So if you're not already a founder, then unfortunately you will not become a founder. The only way that you could get founder privileges, I suppose, is if you become what we call a leader. And if you want more details on what a leader is, then obviously you can drop a support ticket through to Zukul, through to Jeremy, and obviously he can clarify that with you. However, the main headline of being a leader is that you're able to bring in up to 100 or a minimum of 100 paying active members into Zukul. So if you can do that, then you would be classed as a leader, and therefore you will get certain benefits. So it's definitely worth you registering as a leader. However, for mere mortals like ourselves who just simply want to have access to the binary bot, or just want to build sort of a smallish manageable team, if you like, then these are the ways that you can actually get access to the bot. You will need to be an active member with Zukul. You will need to be either a beginner, an intermediate, or an advanced. You can obviously be a member of all of those, and you'll obviously understand that if you're already a member of Zukul. But either way, minimum, you need to be at least at the beginner level. Now, if you do have access to those packages, you will have access to the demo binary bot. Now, if you're looking for the binary bot in your back office today, then some of you will have it, some of you won't. It's been integrated by the programmers over this weekend. So over the next 3, 4, 5 days, everybody will get everybody who's has access to or will have access to it will obviously get it. So there's no need to pop in a support ticket or anything like that. The programmers will get to you, and they will get your binary bot put into your back office. So don't stress over that. If you want to have live access, then you again must be either a beginner, an intermediate, or have an advanced package, and there will be a yearly fee and profit sharing to be paid. Now, the yearly fee is, if you're a beginner, then it'll be 0.15 BTC. If you're an intermediate, it'll be 0.12 BTC, and if you're advanced, it'll be 0.076 BTC. Now, Bitcoin is the lowest it's been for might be 14 months now. So this is a real bargain. Okay, it's an absolute bargain. When these prices were being set, Bitcoin was, I think, it was about 3 times, not 3 times, it was about twice as much as it is now. It might even be a shade over that. It might be 4 times more than it is now. But basically, these were set at that level. So as you can see, because we work in BTC amount will not change. So therefore, you're getting this at a real bargain at the moment. You will need to pay annually for it. If you're a founder or a leader, it's a one-time payment, which you've obviously already been paid, and you'll have obviously lifetime access to that. So you could obviously ignore this part of the presentation. Once you do have access to it and you are in profit, then you will have profit sharing to be made payable to Zukul on a weekly basis. So if you are a beginner, 50% of your profits will be payable to Zukul, intermediate 45%, and if you're advanced, it'll be 40%. I'm not going to go into the whys, wherefores of how you do this. There will be a button, or there is a button in your back office, and obviously you will need to pay that profit share. Otherwise, you won't get access to the bot for the following week. Like I say, we will obviously provide a lot of information to the people who have live access to that. Now, if you do want live access to it, you need to put in a support ticket. Okay, and once you put a support ticket in, then obviously you'll then be given the details should you be approved access to the binary option bot. Okay, so that's how much it is and basically how you get access to it. As I say, if you're a founder or a leader, you've got free access to that. You've got lifetime access to it, and obviously your weekly profit sharing is considerably less as well. Okay, so that, you'll be surprised to know, is, I was going to say, that is as much as I'm going to go through as far as founders are concerned. So if you, sorry, as far as getting access to the binary bot. So if you are new and you're looking at the binary bot and you want to have access to it and you are not a founder, then obviously that's how you need to do it. You need to decide which package you're in, beginner, advanced, or beginner, intermediate, or advanced, and you then need to put a support ticket. To get support, you go into your back office, top right hand corner where your name is, click on the drop down box and click on the support tab. Put a ticket in, say you want to have access to the binary bot, and obviously you'll then have details sent to you. So hopefully that's quite clear. If there's any questions on that, now is the time to put those questions in the chat, and hopefully I will clarify that up. If there aren't, and then what I'll do is I will then move on to the next bit, which is, looking at my notes here, is a bit of a strategy update on what we covered on Wednesday. So got no questions on that, so we will crack on with that. So again, I'm going to go quiet. I have to put the glasses on while I do a quick screen share. Okay, now this is a screenshot. Okay, you can see it's a screenshot because as I move my mouse around, doesn't do anything. Okay, and obviously it's really poor. Now this is a screenshot from Jeremy's back office, and what we were talking about was having bots running constantly, if you like. Now you may not be able to make out the figures here, so what I've done is I've just added them onto this this page here. Now these are the two bots that we were discussing on Wednesday. So as you can see, this bot here has been running since the 10th of October. Okay, so what is today? I think it's like I've lost track. It's the last day. So it's a shade over, what should we say? 6-7 weeks, something like that, 6 or 7 weeks, this one would have been running, okay, but in actual fact, it hasn't been running for about 3 weeks, and that's because ZEC BTC is now no longer available as a combination within pocket options. So this is only around about 4 weeks worth of trading results. Okay. Now you'll notice that the strategy here, and again, I will absolutely explain all of this completely to you in the next 5 minutes. So I'm just referencing these, and we will come back to this when we go into the other part of the training. But you can see here the formula is what we're calling a 1-1 formula. And then we have the first bet, or the bet that's been used, which is $250. It's had a budget of $10,000 here, and it's dipped into that budget to the tune of about $1,300. And the amount of profit it's generated is just a shade under $9,500 in around about, like I say, 4 or 5 weeks before that was switched off. And then we have another one here with ZEC BTC. Okay, this one at the top had a slightly different strategy than the one at the bottom. That's why we've got these two in play. I forget now what the strategies were, but they were, it might have been an A, B, or C, and this one here was A, B, or C. And everything else was exactly the same. But this one, you can see, it had the same budget, and it dipped into the budget to a shade just under $1,000, and it produced profits of $51,000, give or take a bit of change. So overall, that's not bad, is it? That's $60,000 worth of profit just on effectively one pairing with slightly different strategies. So we were talking, Jeremy and I were talking about this over the past couple of weeks, and we've been experimenting with different ways of strategizing and how to use the bot. And what I did is I did a little piece on Wednesday, and we set up a few bots, or at least I showed you a few bots that we set up live. And these were the results as of this morning. And I'm going to show you these again live in a moment, but I just wanted to stress these for you. So we've got 3 bots here in demo mode. Okay, obviously it says demo at the top. The top one has done $132,000. No, sorry, it hasn't. I wish it had. It's done $132. I do beg your pardon. It had a larger budget. It's dipped into the budget a little bit, but even so, $132 profit. This one here, smaller settings, has done $26, and this one here has done $72. So those are, like I say, those are the demo bots that we've got in play. And then we've got the live ones here. And again, as of this morning, the top one here is $27. This one here is $16. And this one here is $14. And you can see at various levels they've dipped into the budget, but not to any great degree. So I just want to, if you've got a pen and paper, if you want to make a note of those values or profits, if you like. And then what I want to do is just show you how we've changed those slightly, or at least change the settings on that, and that's part of the analysis that I'm going to go through with you. So I'm just going to come away from here, and we're now just going to go into my test account here. So you can see here. So straight away, hopefully you can see that this is a test account. My mouse over things change, so it's not screenshotted or anything like that. You can see that this is the live bots. This is live cash. We're trading with live cash. So if you remember, this one here, this is the top one, and this is screenshotted, if that's a word, screenshot in the same order. Okay, so I forget now, I should have made a note, even though I was telling you to make a note. I forget now what it was, but basically you can see here that the sentiment network, now this is running, I've got a demo version of this, but it's running a slightly different strategy. And I will show you all this when we get to that part. But you can see here that we set this up on the 28th and 28th, and that was Wednesday, wasn't it? Yeah, so that was Wednesday. We set this all up. So I set this up at 4:15 on Wednesday, so it was just before the hangout. So you can see here that the formula we talked about, and I'm going to show you how that's changed and why I've changed it in a moment. And you can see here that this one's showing $39 in profit, this one's showing $10 profit, and this one's showing $36 profit. And if I click on these, it'll open up a little graph, so you can see that it's actually been trading. You know, there's no sort of trickery, screenshotting or anything like that. You can see that it's been all over the place, and I'm going to cover these in a bit of detail in a moment. So I just wanted you to see these. Okay, we'll then go to the demo bots, and we just click this this green bit here, and it changes into the demo bots. So hopefully you've noticed that these have now all changed. So we've got Neo BTC. Now this has replaced my Bitcoin. I had Bitcoin as a demo. I could not get Bitcoin to produce anything for me. So I just terminated it and went for my next option, which was Neo BTC. Again, you can see I set this one up on the 29th. So that's yesterday. Okay. So I sort of lost patience with the Bitcoin on the 28th. Give it 24 hours. It wasn't producing me any, what would you call it, any trades. It had about 4 or 5 trades, and it wasn't really doing anything. And I need lots of data. Again, I'm going to explain why that is in a moment. So I've set this one up because it was 24 hours behind. I gave it a chunky target, a chunky budget, and a chunky first bet, because again, I wanted to sort of get this one moving quite quickly. It's irrelevant to me because this is in demo. Okay, so whether it was winning or losing wasn't really that important. It was just the fact I needed to get some data together. And as you can see, this one here is showing $268 worth of profit, which sounds good, but obviously at $50 bets, you would expect this one to be showing some really good results. This one here, it's $8 profit, and this one here is $50 profit. Really surprised at this one, this sentiment one. And again, if I just click on the charts, you'll see that they've been up and down. This sentiment went to a high of 45 twice. Okay, but it's in a bit of a drop at the moment. Hopefully it's going to climb again, but again, I'm going to discuss this one with you. And then this one, the IOTA, again, did quite well to begin with, and then sort of sat in the doldrums quite a while. And I'll be honest with you, if I was trading this one live personally, then I possibly would have cut my losses and moved on. But boy, am I glad that I didn't. I've allowed it to just run and run and run. Okay, so there's a real personal lesson learned here for me. Again, I'll cover that in a moment. So those are the 3 demos, and obviously we've got the 3 live ones here. Okay, so hopefully that all makes sense. So if I stop, well, actually no, I won't stop sharing. I'll just come back to the Hangout. And again, just while you guys are catching up, if there's any questions, then just pop them into capitals in this chat, and obviously I will get through to those, like I say, as much as I can if we get time. I'll just paste it in here. I'll give it a few minutes while you guys catch up. I'll just have a quick drink in that time. Okay, right, so we've got no questions. Right, so how do we set up a bot? Okay, so I've blown this up, so hopefully you can see this quite clearly. Now I'm going to go through how I set up a bot. Okay, so there's lots of different ways. If you have 10 different bot users, then you'll probably have 10 different ways of doing it. But I just want to go through, I was going to say the basics, but because I'm conscious that we have obviously we're going to start to get new users using the bot. For those of you who who weren't founders, but obviously wanted to use it as a Zukul member. So I just want to make sure that I don't assume that everybody knows everything. So very quickly, again, a lot of this is covered in the video package that we've got for you. So if you go to your trading tab at the top and you go to the getting started tab, and I'll just click on that, and you've then got obviously your list of, here we go, go to the bottom where we set up different. It's just simply because I've blown this page up, it looks odd to you. But you want to go to this one here, and there'll be a series of videos which will walk you through everything that I'm going to fly through tonight. Okay, I want to fly through it because I want to get to the meat and potatoes. I want to get to the juicy bit that everybody's going to be interested in. So we will go to the setting up of a bot. There we go. There we go. I wasn't sure whether I clicked the right button then. That's why I was hesitating. Now then, as you can see, we've got running across the top here, we've got various tabs. At the moment, the default is all assets. So it literally lists all the assets which are held on Pocket Option. You can split that up into currencies, cryptocurrencies, commodities, and stocks. And again, as I'm clicking on these, you can see that these are all changing. Now, what you need to understand is obviously today's Friday. Not that you need to understand that it's Friday, but what you do need to understand is that, or appreciate, is that on Friday, a lot of the major markets close down for the weekend. They only trade Monday through to Friday. So you'll start to see a lot of the stocks, the commodities, and the currencies will start to go offline. So you can see here, asset goes off in 1 hour, and the asset will then go off for the next 2 days, and will then kick in either late Sunday evening or Monday morning, depending on where you are in the world. Okay, so yes, you can trade these, but you're only going to have an hour's worth of trade on it, so it's not really worth it. The alternative is to look for what we call OTC. You see here, so it says OTC. That stands for over the counter. That simply means that it will be trading when the normal pairing goes offline. So you can see a lot of these will generally be offline. Okay, and you can tell it's offline because it's grayed out, it's in italics, and you've got this little sort of warning symbol. And obviously it says asset is manually inactive. But these will, like I say, these will tend to come on as the other ones come off. You will notice that, for example, this one here has got grayed out, italics, and a little symbol, and that might be because it's been switched off from Pocket Options side. Could be for a number of reasons. Could be maintenance, could be anything. We don't really know. They switch them on, switch them off from time to time. So just need to live with it. Don't get wound up over it. You can still set it up as a bot, and obviously once it becomes active, then the bot will automatically start trading it. And I will very often, I think even on Wednesday, I set one up that was currently inactive, and then it became active during the evening. So I really don't spend, other than looking at when things actually close as far as the markets are concerned, whether if I go to currencies, cryptocurrencies. So for example, if I thought Ethereum Classic, I could get a really good strategy on that, then whether it's live or not is an irrelevance to me. I just set it, and then I know that the bot will just trade it once it becomes live. In the same way that if I thought Vercoin was a good strategy, I would just select that one and trade it, knowing full well that, you know, maybe the next 2 hours, Vercoin could be taken offline for a period of time by Pocket Option. So again, some people seem to get wound up over it, but don't, just let it go. Okay, don't sweat the small stuff. So you've got obviously, like I said, the currencies, commodities, and stocks. A large chunk of those will go offline now for the next 2 days. So pick them carefully. Okay, if you want to go for them, then choose the OTCs, and in all of these you'll have OTC versions. Okay, so, and again, there's nothing wrong with choosing those. Just just another commodity. That's, you know, or another pairing, as far as I'm concerned. Now, we did sort of flag up a few weeks ago. Just come back to not sharing, just so I can see you see me for a change. Not that that's a benefit, but anyway. We did flag up a few weeks ago or a month ago about trading weekends and about having an air of caution about what you're doing. And the reasoning behind it is that, as I've just explained, a lot of the markets close down on a Friday and reopen again on a Monday, which means that at the weekend there are not many people trading, or there are robots that are trading. Again, that's not a bad thing and it's not a good thing, but what it means is that there is less what we call liquidity, which means there are less people buying and less people selling, and therefore the price fluctuations can be dramatic. So price increases can be big, price decreases can be big. Again, it's just something to be aware of, okay? And if you're doing an analysis, then just be aware of it, really, is what I'm saying. Is take, when you're doing your analysis on the Friday and Saturday and Sunday numbers, is to just not necessarily take it with a pinch of salt, but if you've got a Sunday number and a Monday and a Tuesday number, and you can get the Monday, Tuesday really good strategies, but the Sunday isn't so good, then go with the Monday, Tuesday strategy, because the Sunday one could be simply an anomaly because of this weekend phenomenon, as it were. Sometimes we will switch a bot on pause over the weekend. Certainly if it's live cash, and it's quite a lot of live cash, then we might put it on pause over the weekend. Sometimes we forget, we let it run, and we don't really realise until sort of Sunday that we forgot to do it. So it's just one of those things. If I was trading personally live myself and I was clicking the buttons, then again, I'm just particularly cautious about the prices going up and down, and I just wait for real definite signals before placing a trade. So perhaps the best alternative I can give you is that when you set your bot and you know you have the little box which says high volatility or high risk rather, then perhaps you switch that off on the Saturday and the Sunday, so you're not trading those real high peaks and those real deep troughs. Okay, so that might be something to just bear in mind. If you've got any questions on anything that I've covered so far, again, pop them in the chat and I'll get back to them once we've done this little section. Okay, so I'll just go back to sharing the screen. Okay, so we've done across the top. Everybody understands that, hopefully. You can see that we've got 3 dates. These are rolling dates, so obviously tomorrow it'll show the 28th, 29th and the 30th. And it just gives you 3 days worth of performance. Now, the default is the bot's best strategy. So it's whatever the bot could do in order to get the best amount of profit or the most amount of profit on that day using the combinations of the strategies, the algorithms and the formulas. Okay, so we're looking at Apple here. So on the 27th of November, the best thing it could do was produce a profit of $467. That is with a $1 starting bet, and you would have needed a budget of around about we'll call it $534 in order to achieve that. Okay, so that's the best that it could do. Again, you can see here strategy B was the best one. On the next day, it was strategy A was the best one. Okay, and it could only get you 37 cents worth of profit. It must have been a shocking day for Apple on that day. And then on the 29th, you can see here it got you $502 worth of profit, but you would have needed $502 worth of budget in order to do that. And again, strategy B looked pretty good. That's a curiosity. I'm just going to put strategy B in here. Yeah, so you can see that it just would have been a minus. Okay, so hopefully you can understand how the 3 dates work, the 3 columns, and obviously what the information it's giving you. Now, like I say, it's giving you the default information, but we don't want to do that. All right. what we want to do is we want to try and create some filters, if you like, because there's far too much information to go through. Now I'm going to focus on cryptocurrencies. So if you guys are following along, I'll just let you catch up or log into your back office while I have a quick drink. And again, I just want to give you some sort of wealth warning or health warning, whichever way you want to look at it. What I'm going to go through with you today is not recommendations. I'm just going through a process. I can't predict what tomorrow will be. If I could, I would be a multi-millionaire. What I'm going to do is just give you the best scenario that I can for something that you should be testing in demo. Okay, I'm not going to say you need to do it with live cash. I'm saying you need to do it with demo. Okay. So we're going to focus on cryptocurrencies simply because I have a better feeling for big cryptocurrencies at the moment, and also because we're going into a weekend, it'll make more sense for you to be trading something that's actually active. Now we can filter this a number of ways. We can put in a maximum budget. So if you come up to this box and click on it, you could put in, say, a maximum budget of 100. That might be too much for you. You could put 10. If that's too much for you, you could put 5. You could put 1. It's entirely up to you. We'll give it something to work with. So we'll give it a, I'll give it 100. I'll go with 100. And then you need to click this blue button with your mouse. Don't click enter because it won't have the same effect. Wait for the bot to do its searches, and then what it will now do, it will now produce me a lot more information. So what it's doing now is it's telling me that Bitcoin, with a budget of no more than $100, it could provide me with a profit of $83 on the 27th of November, $225 on the 28th, and $130 on the 29th. Now the question you're asking yourself is, well, if the bot could produce that sort of profit, how come my demo bot, I couldn't get it to work? Well, it could well be that I was using the wrong strategy, or it could well be because this is pulling information from all of the trading available data. However, as we've already mentioned, is that there are times when pocket options will switch Bitcoin off or on. And it could be that during particular times that the profitable times, say perhaps Bitcoin wasn't available. Whatever the reasons are, I couldn't get Bitcoin to work, so I've just moved on from it. But again, I just want to make sure that everybody's understanding that. I haven't lost any sleep over it. I've just terminated it and moved on. Now, what is it telling me with Bitcoin? Well, it's telling me that strategy A, strategy A, strategy B. Okay, so what we want to do is try and get the same strategy running. So strategy A looks like it might be worth looking at. So we'll click on strategy A there, and you'll see that that has taken it into a minus. Now that's not a bad thing straight away, because what we also are able to do is look at the algorithms. So what I want to do is just make this smaller so that I can see the algorithms better. Hopefully you can still see it on your screen. So you can see that this is algorithm 10, this one's 70, and this one's 30. So if I was to go with strategy A here, okay, that changes all these to A. And then if I go to formula is 181818. So if I select formula 1864512, okay. And now if I go through all of the algorithms, so I started with algorithm 10. You can see I've still got profits here and a small loss. What we could then do is literally go through, see these are all now showing profit. You could literally just click through all of these, looking for the best option. See, that's not too bad. That's showing a good headline profit, but it's mostly on the 27th. Then we just continue clicking through these, looking for a good one. 50 looks quite good. That's good. That's good. Good. Definitely not so good. And 100 not so good. So really we're looking at 50 or 40. Now, if we look at 50, you can see here that this one's using quite a big budget to achieve $99. This one's budget profit is almost a 2-for-1. In fact, the fact that you're using $585 worth of budget to get $433 worth of profit is pretty good. And this one here, again, pretty good as well. But this day here scares me. That amount of budget would worry me. So if we looked at the one below it, which is algorithm 40, you can see that that's not bad. This one's even better. Okay, the ratio between budget and profit, and this one's not bad at all either. So actually, out of all of those, I would probably look at 40. I wouldn't necessarily look at 10 or 20, even though it's quite low here and here. I think 40 is probably the one that would interest me most. Okay. So if I wanted to select that, I would click. If I wanted to use that strategy on Bitcoin, then I would click the select button. I would give my my bot a name. I'm just going to put in test here. I can't actually activate it because we're only allowed 3 demo and 3 live bots, which I've already got up and running. So I'm just going to show you how to do these settings and what all these little buttons do. So we give it a name. You can set a date and time that you want it to start. I just have mine running from the moment I click the button. I don't worry with that one. Obviously, you can select demo or live. We've gone with strategy A because that's our settings here. We've gone with algorithm 40 because that's the setting here. And we've gone with the formula of what I call the 1-8 formula because of our settings here. So they just simply populate those boxes. Now, the default is always going to be 1 hour. What I would suggest is that your default needs to be at least 72 hours. That's 3 days. Whether the bot lasts for 3 days doesn't really matter, but I would set it for at least 3 days. In actual fact, all of my bots I automatically just have at 720 hours, which I think is 30 days or a month. Now, the bot will do things. It will not chase every single trade. It will trade conservatively. Okay. However, if you want it to chase every single trading opportunity, then you can click this higher risk button here. So that means that it will now chase every single trading opportunity that it can find, whether it's noticed a bull run or a bear run. Either the market's going really high or the market's going really low. And as I said, if you're entering into a weekend, then it might be wiser to not have the higher risk on. But again, test it. Right? I've left mine on, and I will leave it on, and I will test it over this weekend. Okay. I won't use this single weekend as my test pool. I will test over a number of weekends. Okay. So it's up to you. I'm just giving you that as a possible option. Now the formula, the way that works, it simply means, you can see here our first bet amount, the default is $1, but you can put in as much as you want, up to $1,000. Okay, that's the largest single bet that you can make. We're going to leave it at $1. And what this formula means is that if it will place a first bet of $1 or 1 times whatever this amount is. If that bet is not successful, if you lose that bet, then it will then make a second bet, or the next bet that it makes, it will be 8 times whatever this amount is. If that bet isn't successful, it will then use 64 times whatever that amount is. And if that bet loses, then it will use 512 times whatever this amount is. Okay, so bear in mind that if you had the number 2 in here, okay, problem is, we see here straight away, okay, it won't allow you to use, I was going to say number 2, it won't allow you to use $2 because this bit here will mean that it goes above the $1,000 mark. So often 2 times 512 is 1024. Okay, so if you're going to go with a higher amount rather than $1, then you would need to use a different formula, or you could use the customize button. And with the customize button, you could say 1, you could still go with 8, you could still do 64, and perhaps this one you could do with 400. Okay, I won't let you do 440. I can only let you do 2 numbers. I need to make a note of that because we could do with it going 3 numbers, 3 digits, couldn't we? Just do a screenshot of that. Bear with me a sec, guys. I'll send that to the programmer. See if there's a way we can change that. Okay, so that's the other alternative that you could have. The other way is obviously by choosing a formula that's less. So if you go with this one here, you can see now it's accepted that it's going to be $2 or 2 times 405. Okay, so that's different ways that you could work it. And you can set your budget is the amount that you're prepared to lose, and have that mindset. Again, that is populated from the amount here, and you can set a profit target. So how much you want the profit to the bot to go for, and once it hits that target, it will then stop trading and capture that profit. So it could be that you want to make $100 profit. Okay, you're prepared to risk $100 to make another $100 back, or it might be that you want to make $87 profit. Doesn't really matter. Whatever it is, put that number in, or you can just leave it blank. It's entirely up to you. Excuse me. In which case, the bot will just continue so long as it doesn't use the $100, and will just continue trading. Okay, so once it hits $100 loss, then it will stop trading. So you know that you're not going to lose any more than $100. And once again, you can change this as much as you want. You can change it to 1. Okay, so it will continue trading until it loses that $1. But obviously, you need to give your bot some breathing room. So, I mean, what I'll do is I'll just leave that as 100 and have it populated. First bet amount here. Period and deviation, please just leave them. You can mess with them if you're more experienced about your candles, but I would just leave them. There isn't a great deal of value unless you're really doing super testing. There isn't a great deal of value in changing any of those, in my opinion. Okay. Now, if we put a profit in here, it opens up another couple of boxes. So you can see here that we've got the option to do a smart compound and auto duplicate. What do they mean? Well, we'll do auto duplicate first. What that means is that, let's say that this is a super bot and it hits that $10 profit that we've given it. What it will now do, because we've given it that target of $10 profit, it will now stop trading, okay? Because it's giving you the $10 profit. However, we might want it to continue. So if we click the auto duplicate button, what will happen is that once it's hit this $10, this bot will go into your archives, but it will automatically create a new bot with all of these settings, and it will then continue trading on the new bot. Then if it hits that $10 profit again, it will then again just keep duplicating and duplicating itself. Okay, so that's a really great tool to have if you want to get into the market quickly and get out of the market with a quick profit. And again, I'll show you some examples of that in a moment. That's a great tool to have. The other one to have is the smart compound. So what does that mean? Well, let's say we've got $100 here, okay? And when we get to $100, and we've got $1 there, when we get to our $100 mark, we click the smart compound button. What will happen is that it will now continue trading with $100. Okay, it's made you $100 profit, but instead of using $1 bets, it will now start to use $2 bets. So it's giving you $100 profit, okay, and it will now increase its bet sizes, and it's now giving you, allowing you to bet 2 times. Okay, You can also use this drop down box here, and you can capture some of this profit. So you can say to the bot, I want to keep some of this profit, but I'm going to let you trade with some of this profit in order to make me even more. And if you do that, you click on the drop down box, and obviously you can select a percentage that you want the bot to work with. Okay, so obviously if you've got a large amount of profit to work with, then you can select a smaller percentage. If you're only going for, say, $10 profit, then what you'll need to do is probably give the bot a larger percentage of that to work with, just so it's got some elbow room, if you like, to work with. So once you're happy with all of those settings, and again, the videos will show all of this in a lot more detail than I can go into now, then you just click the start button, and then obviously your bot is then up and running. Okay, so we're going to get rid of that. I'm going to refresh this screen, and while that's refreshing, I'm just going to come back to the Hangout, because I want to just see if we've got any questions on there. So Chris has got a question here. Darren, are you still recommending we don't trade over the weekend? Chris, you need to go back through the Hangout, because I've covered the weekend. I mean, I will trade over the weekend. I wasn't necessarily recommending, I was giving you observations, let me put it that way. You need to do your own testing, but I've already covered it in this Hangout, so you just need to scroll back maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes, and obviously I'll go through that in a bit of detail. But if you've got any other questions, guys, pop them into in the chat and put it in capitals. That would be great. Okay, right. So hopefully this will refresh now. Now, how do I set my bots up? I do two things, all right? Let me duplicate this tab, because what I want to do is just show you two things that I've been doing. Now, again, I've covered these in a lot of detail over the course of the past few Hangouts. Again, I'll just blow this up a little bit. See, I'm going to archives. So let me just. Okay, so as you can see, so beginning of the month. Okay, so you can see here we've got the dates in the middle. So I was doing it as I've just explained to you in setting up a bot. That's how I've been setting up a bot. Okay, but what I've been doing is going for small amounts of budget and small amounts of profit, and then using the duplicate method of getting into the market quickly and then getting out again, and getting in with nice, what we call sniping, I suppose. Getting in, grab some profit, and then get out, and then duplicate the profit, the bot, if we think it's worth duplicating. So as you can see, it was pumping in and out. You can see over a few days, it's giving me some nice profit. Nothing that I was particularly sort of very excited about, but again, not bad profit. Something that I'd be really happy with. Then I was using the formulas as the set out in the setting up screen that I've just shown you. Then I started to experiment. I've done some other demonstrations, and I was then started to experiment with different ways of setting the formula up. So you can see here we've got 111s, okay, and then I was doing some customization. I was doing the first bet as being 1 times, and then the next bet was 2, and then the third bet, instead of going up again, it was then going down and then up again. So basically I was making what we might call 2 martingale trades, and that started pretty well. I then started to change it to doing 1/8 and 1/8, and you can see that was starting to be the beginnings of something that looked like it was going to be pretty good, and it has proven to be a really good way of getting into the market quickly, getting some profit, and then getting out. Okay, so it's been really good. I've enjoyed it, working that little trick, if you like. And again, I cover that in a bit more detail in other Hangouts. But all I do is I use the Customize tool to get in to the market. So if I click on this one here, so I get into the market, okay, it's lost its first bet, which is $1. And then because the next bet is 8 times or $8, if it wins, then boom, I've hit my profit target and I'm out of that bot. I close that bot down, okay? Now, if I duplicate it, I then have the potential of having, like, as you can see, bot after bot after bot, okay, making money. However, if the worst thing happens and I lose that second bet, and as you can see, it basically will then close you out. If I click on this one here, you see in this one here, I lost that first bet, made it on the second bet, lost the next one, and then bang, made profit on that one. That's almost your perfect scenario, okay? And you're in and you're out really quickly. Now, what I have done is on Wednesdays, I showed you another trick that I've been using on another account that I've brought into this account, again, to demonstrate for you. And that is by, if we go to the live box, is by using a different formula. I'm going to show you why I've changed that formula, but also using a slightly different strategy that means that I'm in for the long term. And this is based on that original screenshot that I showed you, where we made 50 grand and 9 grand just with just 2 bots, okay? So this is where this strategy is starting to develop. We're trying to fine tune that strategy for you. So how do we do that? Or how do I use this here in the top left to sort of narrow that down? Well, we'll go to cryptocurrencies again. And what I now do is I use a default. So I will automatically go with strategy A. I will use algorithm 10, simply because these are the 2 top ones, not because I know something that you don't. It's just easy for me. And then I use the 1-1 formula. Okay, but it doesn't really matter. You can use any of those formulas, but I use the 1-1 formula simply because that tends to sort out the men from the boys or the wheat from the chaff. Okay, and as you'll see is that I can now scroll down and I can quickly identify that possibly Ethereum BTC looks like it might be a good one. Because let's face it, if it's making $15 worth of profit just on $1 bets, that's pretty good. Okay, it must be quite a stable looking pairing. Got Litecoin here on $11. Okay, and you'll notice that the 2 that I normally like have not shown up particularly well here. So let's just have a look at, let's have a look at Litecoin. So using strategy A, okay, and algorithm 10, and that has produced that result, which is pretty good. Now what I now do is I keep strategy A in place, but I will change algorithm from 10 to 100. You'll see that that has improved even more, even though I've got 2 losses. So actually, even though it's improved the profitability, actually I wouldn't choose that setting because I've now got 2 days of losses. So I now go to strategy B. So now change it back to algorithm 10 and now go back to strategy B. Now strategy B, not so good profit, got a loss here, and now I check algorithm to 100. Now that is a lot better. So strategy B, algorithm 100, and it's producing $32 worth of profit. That's not a bad looking set of results there. However, I just want to make sure that I go to strategy C to double check that one. So strategy C, algorithm 10, okay, doesn't look bad. It's not bad at all, is it? But if we go to algorithm 100, that's not bad either. Obviously, it's mainly built on this day here, but actually they're not too bad. Okay. So what have I learned from that? Well, I've learned that strategy B is pretty good, and strategy C is pretty good. And if we look at strategy B with algorithm 10, we've got a loss. If we've got 100, that's not bad. Okay, so strategy B, strategy C with a 10, I think it was. Yeah. Yeah. I've gone with, right. So strategy C, this is really important that hopefully you can pick up on this. So strategy C, algorithm 10, okay, produces even profits with a very low budget or risk. Okay, hopefully you can see that. If I choose strategy C, but change it to algorithm 100, you'll notice that this is a low budget, really good profit. Then these again are still good. You know, the profits to budgets are still good, but the headline is built on this single day. Okay. Now, what I might be tempted to do is now go through all of these, trying to find a day or an algorithm rather that gives me much more even spread. It doesn't really look like a get one. Oh, it doesn't look too bad, does it? See here? So you've got 3 for 8, 1 for 4, 4 for 4. So algorithm 30 doesn't look too bad. No, you wouldn't do that. 20 looks okay. And 10 probably looks the best of them all, if I'm honest. So I might sit in algorithm 20 here. So my first bot that I would demonstrate or put in demo would be strategy C, algorithm 20 with a setting of 111. Okay, that would be my first one. I would then do another bot with Litecoin, and I would look at strategy B, and I would do exactly what I've just done. I'd go through all of these and probably look like I'm going to come closer to the I'm just thinking, guys, sorry, when I went quiet then, it did get disconnected. Yeah, I think you can be safe anywhere between 70, 80, 90 and 100. I'll just choose 100 just to make it easier. So I would have 2 Litecoin bots, one on strategy B and 100, and the other one on strategy C, and I think it was 20. Hopefully you guys have made notes of that. And I would have those running in demo mode. Okay. So that hopefully has given you an idea of how you can use this to identify a particular pairing and then zero in, drill down into that pairing. Now, having done all of that, okay, and then come back up to the top, and you remember that we set it with strategy A first time. We can do exactly the same thing now. Go with strategy B, leave it at 10, okay, and leave it at 111, and repeat the same process, and then look to see the Ethereum again. Bang, shows good profit, doesn't that? Okay, NeoBTC, you can now see it showing good profit. My friend Sentiment Network showing good profit. So you see what I mean? It now picks other ones up for you. And again, there's no reason why you couldn't go with strategy B. You did 10. There's no reason why you couldn't go with strategy the algorithm 100. And you can see all of a sudden you might now start picking up Gridcoin. You know, look at Ethereum now. There's quite a few. Look at this one, PTC. There's quite a few now which are jumping out at you, and then go through strategy C. So hopefully that has given you a little bit more of an idea of how to use this in a more methodical way, which will help you identify maybe the more stable ones that you could go and have a look at in detail. Let me just come back to the Hangout to see if we've got any questions on what I've covered so far. Nope, we haven't. Right, now we are bang on 8 o'clock. And I just want to show you one last thing, as it were. Oops, I've come right to the end of the Hangout. There we go. There's just a couple of things I want to go through to you, so I'm going to fly through this. So I do apologise if I go really quick. I'm going to go back to the slideshow. Okay, so you'll remember that we set those bots up live and in demo mode. And over the next, as you can see, in 24 hours, I then sort of had a look at the way that the patterns worked on each of the trading pairs. Now, there's something that jumped out at me, and I'm not going to tell you what it is yet. I'm just going to go through these charts to see if you can spot it. And if you can spot it, put it in the chat. Okay, let me just go back. There we go. So we've got that's sentiment network. This is the sentiment network on $2, and this is the sentiment demo on $5. Okay, but that's not the important thing. That's just why there's two sentiments. Hopefully go back to Meta, IOTA. Okay, I'm going to leave it on this one, right, for now, and I'll come back to the Hangout just to see if anybody spots what it is. So if you've spotted what is in that chart, which jumped out at me, if you can see it, put it in there. If you can hear me and I'm not talking to myself, just say hi. You can hear me, and that will be good. I'll have a quick drink while I wait. I'll grab a quick Satsuma. Okay, so nobody's put anything into the chat. So either everybody's gone home or nobody can spot what it is that I've seen. Thanks, Dave. At least you can hear me. Anybody got any clues? No? Okay, right. Let me show you again, and then hopefully you'll go yeah. Right. Now what I'll do is I'll leave it on this just to show you. So what this graph is showing me is that, as you can see, it's placed a bet here and it's won. Placed a bet, it's won. Placed a bet, it's won. Placed a bet, it's won. It's placed a bet, it lost. Placed a bet, won. It won there, but it lost. Then won 2 bets, then lost 1. Won a bet, 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 then obviously it lost a few there. However, it won, lost, won, lost. Anybody picking up on what it is? Let me try another one. About this one. Anybody see it there? Come back to the chat. Anybody spotted it? Okay, so what I'm asking, David, is can you see something that is quite obvious in all of these graphs? Apart from the fact that they're going up and down, but it's something in the graphs that I've spotted. Dave's got it. Every other. I'm assuming the W pattern. Okay, I think you're starting to see it. So I don't want to assume that people see these things. Right, what I've spotted, okay, was that it was losing one bet and then winning the next one. Okay, yes, it lost 2 here, but it won that one. It lost 1 bet and then won the next one. So you can imagine that the first bet is lost, but the second bet it's won. Yes, it's lost a few here, but when we get here, it's lost 1, won the second. Lost 1, won the second. Lost 1, won the second. And then go to another chart. See it here, even more marked, can't you see it? Yeah, it seems to be winning a lot more of the second bets than having. Yes, there's a drops like this, and yes, it's losing 2 here and losing 2 here, but more often than not, it is actually losing just 1 bet and then it's winning the second bet. Yeah, see this here, 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 here. here. Yeah. So hopefully you can see that. So it then got me to thinking, well, what if the blue dots represent when it was placing a bet? So if you mouse over it, you'll see that it tells you how much was won or lost. Dave Horner's got it. So a 1-2 is good, or a 2-4. Yeah, yeah. A 1-2 looks like it might be quite good. Exactly, Dave. You've got it. So what I did, just get rid of this. Go to here. Okay. You'll notice here the formula have changed. Let me just open this up for you. So this is Sentiment Network. It's a live bot. Settings. I set the customize to be 1. So the first bet would be 1 times these $2. Then if it lost that, then it would place a second bet of 2 times $2. If it lost that, then it would just go back to the 1 and the 1. Okay, so that's what I did. And what I wanted to do is show you if that made any improvements or not. So I edited the settings in the bot, okay, so that you could see the difference. And let me just click on this one to show you. So here, okay, as you can see, as I mouse over these blue dots, you can see that this grey box is changing information. But you can see that here it was doing one bets, okay? And then I changed it. Now, unfortunately, this graph is getting too big, or it's too much information. So hopefully you can see here, for example, that this bet here, this might be an easy one to see. So it loses that first bet, but then it wins that second bet, and the profit from that second bet is big enough to take it past the loss, the point it was here. And then again here, the profit was big enough to take it past that there. In fact, it might be better if I took it to demo and showed you on this one here. So it wins its first bet here, okay, which is $10, okay, but it loses that next bet, okay, so that's its first one, so it's lost that, all right. Then it wins that second bet, so that's 2 times. It's made $57 worth of profit in that. Yeah, see here, it loses that bet, but because this bet is a bigger bet, it's 2 times the amount that was bet here. That profit kicks it back up. So if I have an up down pattern, then I'm always going to be in. See here, these were all 1-1 bets. Okay, but then when I go to 1-2 bets, it then starts to kick up. Okay, see here how it kicks up. Now, obviously, the drawback is see here, if you lose that second bet, then the loss is bigger to make up, and that has been the downfall here. But what I will do now, and this is like, was it 48 hours later, is I'll now do some more analysis and have a look that now I've got more information to look at. And this is why I was saying I needed to run charts to get the data so I could do the analysis. So what I'll now do is I'll count. I've got lots of up downs here, but here I'm starting to suffer with 2 losses before I get a win. Okay, 2 losses, then a win. 3 losses and then a win. Okay, 2 losses and a win, 2 losses and a win, 2 losses and a win. Now, why is that? Well, it could be a number of things. Okay, what I think it is that I set this bot up using what you might call accurate data over the past 3 days. Okay, and so therefore the bot is set up quite close to the way it is trading at the moment. However, it's now had another day's worth of activity, if you like, and perhaps my settings are not quite as sharp as they were here. So therefore, it's now having to sort of wait, make another loss before it makes a win. So where I set a bot up with 111s, perhaps it might be worth me testing having a bot set up with 1-2s for the first 24 hours and then 1-1-2s in the next day. That makes sense. So let me just put it on here. So this is my theory. I've not done it. Okay, this is just the theory. So the first day formula is, or should be, instead of, okay, perhaps first day should be okay, and the second day should be that makes sense. I'll leave that there for a moment. Perhaps I'll make it bigger just in case you can't see that. I'll leave that there. Back to the hangout. Okay, so does that make sense? And do you understand how I'm sort of analysing the chart and the results and refining my strategy? Thanks, Dave. Appreciate the feedback. Now, the other thing I want to just quickly show you is that I've got two sentiment networks. I've got one in demo and I've got one in live. Okay. The reason I've got two is that I'm running slightly different strategy. So this one's strategy B. Okay. And the demo one, I think, is strategy C. Strategy C, yeah. And you can see in the strategy C one, okay. Now you'll remember in the Litecoin where we had strategy C and strategy B were both showing really good results. One was slightly better than the other, but they were still worth pursuing. Well, same with, you remember the ZAC BTC that Jeremy showed you the other day. Again, I think one was a strategy, let's say strategy A, and the other one was strategy B. Both produced really good results. You'd be happy with the £9 profit after 4 weeks, wouldn't you? But again, it's just about understanding how those strategies work, and each one will be different on a particular day. So this chart you can see is all over the place. Okay, so it started off like a train. Again, you can see these 1-1s. Okay, really pretty good, and then it started to then fall. Okay, so this was the low, then it started to go back up again. Okay, so I'm just going to let it run. It's in demo. It doesn't bother me whether it makes profit or not, because again, I'm just using it for testing. But what I really just want you to understand is that just because one of the pairs that you choose doesn't perform as well as it should do, or you think it should do, it might be worth you just going back to this again and just having a look at which strategy is working better today than it was yesterday. And yeah, you could come back into this one here and think, you know what, I've decided that actually today I want to change this to strategy B. There's no reason why you can't change that in editing, as long as you're keeping track of it and you know yourself that when you're opening this chart, that on, on this day here, you changed it from strategy A to strategy C or whatever. And that's why it either went really well, or that's why it went really poorly, or it just stayed the same. So it's all what I'm trying to sort of illustrate here is the bot will work, okay, if you put a little bit of effort into the settings, okay, the setup bit, and if you then just allow it to just run, or you can then do these little tweaks and have a little, as Jeremy says, just have fun with it. Because, like I say, if you get it right, then there's nothing better in the world than having something that's going to make you a couple of grand over the next few weeks, because you've got your bot settings, spot on. Because, believe you and me, let's go with this one here, this metaverse, which I was quite nervous about. You can see I was really nervous about it when we set it up, because it took a good, well, I went to bed and it was still in minus when I went to bed. So I was pleasantly surprised when I woke up to find that it was in sort of around about this $5 worth of profit. But then since then, as you can see, it's done nothing but be an absolute winner. I haven't done anything different to it other than changing the second bet, which you can see here, that sort of tick effect that we've got here, that kick up. Okay, so this one's been absolutely fine for me for the past few days. And there's no reason why I wouldn't think about, increasing the bet amount here, increasing the budget, and just allowing this metaverse one to just run and run and run now. Okay, so hopefully that has given you quite a bit of food for thought in how you can actually sort of get your bots to really start to work for you. Right, okay, I have really gone way over. Late now. I'm here puffing and puffing outside my door now because I've got to go out now. So hopefully that makes sense. If you've got any questions from what I've covered, then please let me know. Either leave it in the comments and I'll get back to you via comments, or if you want to get in touch with me via Facebook, then that's fine. I don't go into Facebook every single day, so it might be a couple of days before I get back to you. But if you've got questions, pop it into Messenger or whatever it is on Facebook, and over the weekend I will get back to you. All right. If you're a little bit confused, a little bit lost on what we've gone through tonight, then obviously go back through the important parts of this hangout, and obviously share it with people who weren't necessarily available to watch it because of whatever it might be. It's a Friday night. Some people have got a social life, wouldn't you believe? Which is why I need to go and drop my daughter off on her social life now. All right. So thank you very much. Really appreciate you, your feedback and everything. And I will see you next week. I think Jeremy's flying back home. So hopefully he's having a safe journey and has a good sleep over the weekend, and we will be good to go on Monday. So hopefully I will see you on Monday. Take care. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.